All right. Now I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with a quick overview of the S&P and the DXY. What happened yesterday? So the DXY made a lower low after the backtest on the 20, and the stochastic on the DXY has turned down, indicating there is more downwards motion to go. And it will probably come down to the next support and resistance level, which dates all the way back from February 2015. So it is in the range of the next support level, and it probably won't stop until it gets to that point. More downwards for the DXY means another level up for the S&P, and if there is no crypto scandal, more likely another level up for crypto. The S&P broke through the resistance yesterday, going upwards and closed above the previous support and resistance. The stochastic on the daily on the S&P is going up as well. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are out of the bear market because we haven't broken the support and resistance of the bear market. We can still go this bit higher, so this level of this range here, and still be within the limits, the technical limits of the bear market. But we are right now in the space of the next level. It could start ranging. For instance, if you're looking here, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of ranging before starting to lift towards this pink line. So we might see that, or we might see a faster move towards the pink line. The level is 4,300. The 4-hour stochastic has also turned up. There are bearish divergences now, too many to count, to be honest, on all coins and also in the S&P. But as long as the momentum continues to the upside and the levels are broken and held, we can't really confirm the change in direction. So right now we had a chance yesterday to make a correction, and that chance turned into a higher high for Ethereum and Bitcoin. And technically, with a higher high and with holding support, we are looking at the next level up. Now for I'll start with Ethereum because it's an easier story to tell, because the indicators are in confluence. The MACD has turned up on Ethereum. The difference between the buyers and the sellers is so let me just rephrase this. So there's less sellers, more buyers in the MACD waves, and the MACD has started to turn up. The stochastic for Ethereum has turned up quite violently. Generally, when that does that, it's not necessarily a good thing, because there's the immediate momentum that takes over too much. But it has reached the resistance line. It is at the resistance line at the moment, and it's made a higher high. So again, technically, if it breaks this resistance and today, because this is the daily candle, and it holds it tomorrow, we are looking at continuation to the 1800 area. Again, what I'm saying is not necessarily bullish, because for it is a markup stage. It is a bullish move, but not necessarily a bullish trend, because the way we were looking at the S&P to get to the 4,300 to break into the bull market territory, the same for Ethereum applies. Needs to break the 2,200 in the most conservative scenario, because this is the peak formation. I'm taking this as the M formation for the down. So 22, 22, 20. It could be a little bit higher. It had all this sideways, which makes it hard to define which is the peak formation. Could be a little bit higher, or it could be the next level, 1800. Though this would be a wonkier structure, considering there wouldn't be a support in the peak formation on this side here on this peak. So to my eyes, 22,200 would be the level to break. But anyways, each level at a time, we still are in a very long lift that hasn't had any correction. That correction will happen eventually, so we need to keep that in mind. On the 4 hour, the stochastic is going up for Ethereum. It's not yet maxed out. It looks like it will very soon, but the 12 hour has turned up and it looks like it's going. On the 1 hour level, we are in the space of the next level up, and for the 1 hour levels, the next space is 1760, a little bit below the daily at 17. I could make it a little bit higher. Could bring it a little bit higher. There we go. I'll bring it a little bit higher and update you in the chats, so that we have confluence between the daily numbers and the 1 hourly numbers. So it does look like Ethereum is in the space for the next level up. And again, if you're looking at the 1 hour and trying to catch a trade, the 1 hour stochastic has just reset to the bottom. I don't think I would put a 7, so this would be, I would put a fib retracement. If this were, it's very hard to see these mini swings. If this goes up and then starts coming down and making a W formation here, I would be putting a fib retracement on this swing that went up and trying to catch an entry here at this double bottom. But big volume yesterday after the FOMC, and Powell's speech really motivated the market. He gave the market what the market expected, and the market went in volumes and bought in. And I don't think the market will stop until the next level of resistance, and then maybe then we'll get our correction, because so far we haven't even had a 382 correction, which is an anomaly. It's not sustainable for a lift like that, especially because we are not in a bull market. In this period of transition, it's up and down, up and down. It's building up momentum rather than shooting up. It's not moon phase. So I do expect a correction, but first I think it'll go another leg up before it comes down. Now for Bitcoin, it's the same story. For the daily RSI, it's turned up, and but the MACD is still crossed down. It's lifting up. It hasn't yet crossed up. I think it's a little bit. Bitcoin had a little bit more of an increase in sellers compared to Ethereum. Ethereum held a little bit better in this sideways correction phase. Sideways, not necessarily correction, consolidation. That's what I meant. Bitcoin is in this structure. I posted this structure on the chats. So here we are in this channel, went up to the resistance line. It hasn't yet broken out of it. Again, you could be watching for a 1 hour double bottom here to get in on a correction. If you don't manage to get in on that, watch for a back test of this resistance line if it's broken. Again, we have on the let me just check. On the 12 hour, we have the stock RSI going up. On the 4 hour, it's pretty high up, but again, if the levels hold, the stochastic can keep on going. We've seen some very interesting and very hard to read stochastic moves lately. So I'm watching the levels more for support and resistance. The levels clearly held throughout this consolidation. Now, the next level would be 26.6 for continuation for Bitcoin. 26.6 in this 1 hour formation. In this structure, it's 25.6, a little bit less, but if it catches momentum, it might. This is just a measured move of this channel. And on the daily, the next level would be 26.9. So I anticipate again 26.6 would be the next target on the 1 hourly levels. We might not get there straight away. We might have to do a little bit of consolidation work here, or maybe we are gonna go there to in the next coming days, because it is generally the case with FOMC moves. They continue for the next 3 days and then they start reversing. So I do see this money that was pumped into the market taken back. The question is, will it be taken back sooner rather than later? Thursday is traditionally reversal day for crypto. We still have to see if we're gonna see a move today. I'm not in a trade at the moment. I'll be waiting for the start of New York to see how London transitions from Asia, and then how New York sets up, because there's no at the moment there is no entry in terms of levels or in terms of retracement. So I would be waiting for an hour into the New York session to see what formation there is there. And depending on whether I have a double bottom or a double top, I will be shorting or longing, because we could have a correction today. This would be the less likely scenario. In my opinion, this is more likely to continue rather than correct down. But these levels to me show these are the map for price action. They haven't failed. So ever since it broke out, they haven't failed. They're constantly showing us what is the direction. As much as this is a swing without correction, and it will correct, they have showed us that it keeps on going up because it is holding support. So that's it from me. I'll do a review of the levels tonight. I will also be looking at what to expect on Friday. And also, I'll keep you up to date if I see any potential entries around New York time. I will let price action settle. I think London has yet to absorb the information that came out yesterday from the American market. And I think it's best to wait for the start of New York and see what's happening. Good luck today, and I'll see you guys later. I'll leave you guys with Roy.
So I'll zoom out first and just have a look here, yeah. So this is on the daily. So the FOMC meeting yesterday gave a little lift with XRP so far. We didn't have that another drop down that I was looking at on the MAs. So let's see where we are. So you can see this resistance line on the daily. You can see that it's testing it a lot at the moment. You can see historically it's quite a relevant line. So yeah, we got to see if this is going to break up or not. Is XRP seems to be behaving a little differently with regards breaking new highs. At the moment with myself is I'm still looking at this being a reversal pattern for the down, and I'll show you a couple of reasons why. But on this one on the daily is you can see in the consolidation pattern there it is pretty much at a decision point. Yeah, is you've got the drop down here again. You got the lift. Look, here's it sets the level. Is you get the drop down. Here's a lower low, comes back up for the higher high, comes back down for the low, hasn't created a lower low yet, and has come back up, is found support on the point of control here, and now touched off the resistance, the high value level, touched off this as resistance. Yeah, so until I see it start to break above 43.3 or so, and potentially come up and get a touch off 47, 48 here around the 200. Let me see what this is on the daily. 200 SMA. I would expect that if it is going to break up, you'll get a touch off this, you get a back test, and then a continuation on up. Yeah. So that would be what I would be looking for, but at the moment that's not happening. You can see here on the daily that here's the 200 EMA as resistance, and it's holding at the moment. Yeah. So when I go onto the daily here and have a look at a few other indicators. When I look down here on bottom right is again the MACD is turned down, but again it can turn up. The stock here is coming to the bottom. It still has space to go, but it is definitely coming to the bottom. This one here is one I'm going to point out. Yeah. So this is I'll pull these over a little bit more just to show you. Yeah. So let me just clear this out a little bit. Oh, continue. So now these are the divergences on the daily, yeah. And just looking at the recent patterns is you can see, where will we go? We'll start with here, yeah. I'll make sure I can show you where price action is at the same point. Actually, we'll start here. Let's history. Yeah. So look, you can see when I move the cursor down on the bottom of this indicator. Yeah, you can see price action. I'll circle it. You see price action is there, and at the same time, price action is there on the RSI. So that shows you where the price action is on the price action, and then where it is in the RSI. Yeah. Okay. So you can see recently in this drop. You get a drop, and you get a series of bearish divergences all along here. So you can see bearish divergences start to signal here, and again you get the lift, and again here, or sorry, bullish divergences. My apologies. And here, from here on, you start to get bearish divergences. Again, this is on the daily, and again it takes a turn back down, and again you get a series of bullish divergences, and again you get a series of bearish divergences, and again you get a drop down, and here we come to a series of bullish divergences again. Yeah, and again here we are at price action, and we're getting this topping out with clear bearish divergences again. Yeah, and again you can see the spill. You can see the spill in the RSI. There's another bearish divergence on this drop, and again we're coming back up, and at the moment again it's looking like it's in a spill mode. It's looking like it's in this phase of a pattern where we get a sideways drawn out. Here we are again, sideways drawn out when we get the bearish divergence, and I'll go back for this one here. I'll go all the way back here. Again, on a larger scale, again you can see a bearish divergence. Again, the same pattern. You get a drop, you get a sideways, you get one last lift, and then you get a drop again. So the point I'm trying to make is that it is with XRP, I know Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing higher highs, but with XRP is still in the same pattern of in the bear market trend that it's been in all the while, yeah. And it is doing this. It is doing the same. It is doing the same pattern as it stands. So, to me, this looks like it's a reversal and it's getting dragged out like it does at this stage, yeah. So, what I would be looking for is to see here on the RSI, if the RSI starts to find its way all the way to the bottom here, and that there isn't much of a breakdown. It fails. Let's say the RSI on the daily gets all the way down to the 50 MA here on the daily, and exhausts itself getting back to the bottom, but yet the move down is shallow and weak. Then it is absolutely looking very bullish for continuation. Yeah. Until this pattern here breaks its pattern, to me it still looks like it's just looking to find its way down. Yeah. So that's why I think a target of 37.2 down here on the 50 on the daily, it seems like it needs to come down here, for at least the RSI on the daily to begin to bottom out and transition again to the upside. So that's what it seems like, yeah. And the pattern is holding as in previous times, and equally it is testing this. You can see it's testing this resistance line again. It's testing it a number of times. So what would need to happen is, again, price action would need to get above, do a back test, and then continue on up. So that's simply not happening at the moment. Yeah. So I think price action is a bit tedious at the moment with regards swings and good trades, because it is in this sideways space where it has to decide. Yeah. And then equally, as I was pointing out to you, where is it here? Where's that chart? There we go. Is in the consolidation zone. Definitely it's the decision maker with regards the lift up and breaking above this resistance level here, the high volume level, breaking above this and continuing on up, or getting a rejection and continuing on down. It's still to be played out. The decision still needs to be made. Yeah. So at present, just basic charts. Our patterns is, you can see the head and shoulders here, and it's still moving within that range at the moment. I'm looking at an ascending channel here. It might even be a bear flag. It would still give the same target of around 36.4. Yeah. So we got to see what this wants to do. Could have pumped up. Could FOMC was positive yesterday. Powell did what the markets were anticipating. So a lot of it was already baked in. He was very positive about things are beginning to move in the direction they wanted to move. Still a lot more to go. He made a bit of a faux pas when he talked about the terminal rate. Terminal rate back in December the limit was put at 5.1, and yesterday he said they discussed the terminal rate. He referenced it when it was asked. He said we're going to review it again in March, but it's the same as it has been, and he gave a terminal rate conversational reference point as in the people in the people. The group of people who look after the Fed make the decisions. Yeah, the group discussed 4.75 to 5.25. So it's hard to believe that at this level that was a mistake. So that was him telling the market, in my eyes, that they're looking at potentially two more potential moves of 25 basis points to 5.25. He said it clearly, 5.25, which is not 5.1. So potentially that's what they're looking at before any form of pause. And he made it fairly clear that he doesn't anticipate a reduction this year in that rate. Yeah. So while it was positive and people were expecting that, he went out of his way not to give any warnings. But there was one faux pas that stood out like a sore thumb, which was everything is great, but then he said this one thing that seemed to push the terminal rate up to 5.25 rather than 5.1. So it could be easily missed if you weren't listening too much, but well, anyway, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but that's what was said. So now here, when I zoom in a little bit on the hourly, yeah, again I'm just looking at this consolidation pattern on the peak, and I'm going to reference this one here, yeah, as well. This was the previous peak, and we're looking at a bit of a drawback here, and then it bounced up. So there's a real similarity to them here, yeah. And again, you can see, look, it comes to the top. It has it. Increase the color of this. You can see it tops out, gets a drop, comes back and sets a range. Does a lower low here, higher high here, comes down and does another lower low here. And again, this is if you look at this nice Wyckoff accumulation here, we get a lift above again, and then we get third lower low, and then we get the spring. We get the spring all the way up, yeah. So again, nice clear Wyckoff accumulation there on the 1 hour. But now look here, we get a top out again. We get a drop. We get a drop here. Now, I think maybe I would take it. So what's the challenge with this? Yeah, I'll take it all the way down to here actually, and then we get the range set, and then we get a drop, which again doesn't do a lower low here. And then we get a lift that doesn't do a higher high here. So we don't get the lower low or the higher high. So you can see a much tighter range. But the pattern is still very similar, where look, we come down and we do a lower low here again. Yeah. So now on this one, this is our first lower low. We got three systematic ones here. A nice Wyckoff accumulation pattern that sprang. Or this one here, we didn't get we're not getting such a range being met, but it's a similar movement. So now we have the lift up. So we're getting the lift. The question is, and you can see the same pattern here, we get the bounce, we get the lift to the support level, or the support resistance level here, is we get the drawback. Now the question is will we break through and start to continue on up for another level, yeah? Or will we start to collapse here? Yeah. So that is essentially the question, yeah. So it's the same thing as I was saying, yeah. Is breaking above 41.48, which again it's been tested at the moment. Getting support again. Look, you can see the point of control on this smaller one here. Getting above, I suppose 41.95, really 42. Getting above here, finding support, and then heading on up. Yeah, that's what we got to see. Are we going to get another leg up? Yeah, and again, if we get another leg up, just a simple move like this, and we could be looking at a level at 45.50 or so. But again, we got to see what it wants to do. So yeah, so now when I look at the MAs, yeah, and yesterday 4-day turned. So the MAs definitely took a turn and are starting to look quite bullish, yeah. But again, I'm gonna point something out. Is you can see the 4-day. Again, the five is continuing up, and the VWAP is taking a sharp turn up. Yeah. So you can see that it's looking pretty bullish. But I will show you here on a previous reversal pattern is that when you get the lift, is here's where it topped out. You can see the 4-day, and remember the sideways pattern that I was telling you about? It's gone sideways. This is it on the 4-day. Is you can see the 5 and the VWAP coming up here, and again looking very bullish. You can see it top out. You can see it top out, and then it turns around and it gets a drop. Yeah. So it's still in this space where it has to decide whether it's going to continue on up or not. Again, it's the same thing. Is have we bottomed out and we're heading on up? Or is this the second level on a bigger move? Is this one level? And we have a second level, and again, are we looking for a third level? So it's still the same question being asked, yeah. And we are definitely at a decision point, yeah. If the pattern is going to do what it has done previously, again, we'll get a pivot-like candle on the 4-day. We get a double top between the next 2 4 days, and we get a drop. So something around that in the next week, or it breaks through, and we start to head on up, and then the pattern is broken. The pattern of this sideways is broken, and we're heading on up. Yeah. So that's that 4-day turned yesterday. The 2-day turned, and again you can see this is a market maker move. So here's the VWAP pushing, but if you look on the 2-day, look at the 5 and the 10. They're not exactly eager to move up. They're not signaling that they're looking to pump. If anything, is they're in a pattern where both of those again are looking like they're ready to take a turn down together. Yeah. But again, we'll see when we go to the 1-day. We go to the 1-day again. Here's the 200 EMA being resistance. Here's the VWAP pushing, but yet the 10 on the daily takes a turn down, while the 5 takes a turn up. Again, you can see these going sideways, sort of playing off each other. Yeah. We've had the bounce off the 55 EMA here. We've got the lift back up, rejection off the Bollinger. The medial line, the Bollinger, and the 10. And we got to bounce back onto the 5 or the 20 EMA, the white one here. And again, we get the FOMC giving it a push yesterday. Yeah, this was red until FOMC turned it green. Yeah. So now today, again, look, we have the market makers doing the move with the VWAP and getting a touch and a rejection off the 200 EMA. So again, we got to see where this wants to go. Yeah. So that's it. That's the longer term view. It's still up for debate whether this is going to go up or down for me with XRP. If anything, it's in the pattern for reversal until it breaks it. Now, if we zoom in, is 12 hour. Sorry, it's 12 o'clock for me. 12 hour hasn't turned, but the 10 hour has turned. Yeah. And this is the challenge with price action where it is now. Yeah, you can see that the VWAP has turned sideways. But now when I go to the 12-hour, as you can see, again, the VWAP is pretty high. So for the rest of the day, you can see the VWAP on the 80-hour. You can see the VWAP is up here. So it's going to be, unless it actually breaks up, it's going to be a continual sideways where you're getting a reversal pattern. The challenge is that it's the same on the daily. And for the next 2 days, again, you can see the VWAP was way up, so price action would have to come down pretty strong to start to turn that, yeah. And then equally the 4-day, you can see the VWAP on the 4 days up like this as well. So again, this if it doesn't break higher, it looks like it's a bunch of sideways action for the next few days, yeah. But at present, you can see the VWAP has turned sideways on the 10-hour, and again, all these MAs are far more sideways than they are anything else. They're leveling out. Yeah, you see a little lift on the 10, little lift on the 5 here, but the rest are leveling out, which essentially means they're open to direction. When they all start to level out like this, they're very easy to move through. So they're open for direction. Yeah. Let me just zoom in on the 4-hour so I don't spend too long. Again, you can see the 5 on the 4 hours coming up, and look where the 10 is. The 10 isn't overly eager to continue. It's not chasing up afterwards. It may do, but at the moment it's not. Let's look at the 2-hour. Again, here's the 10 following up on the 2-hour. But again, still a reversal pattern in the making here. And again, here is the 1 hour. So unless what would I be waiting for things to lift up is the VWAP. VWAP has, at the present, the VWAP is resistance, and it's not moving up. If the VWAP starts to move up, then we're going to go up on that next level. Yeah. But you can see, I'm not going to keep going on about it, but you can see at the moment is it seems like it still has days to play out sideways. If it's continuing in a similar vein as it was previously, yeah. And I'm looking for this pattern here, yeah. So just to show you, yeah, this is the 1 hour stock, yeah. And then this is the green is the 50 EMA, yeah, and the red, the light red here is the 200 EMA, yeah. So you can see there's a very similar pattern that keeps playing out all the time in this bear market, yeah. And it's the same thing is when you get this big lift on the RSI and the hourly, while the RSI goes really high, look, price action didn't go too high here, and it triggers the spill, yeah. It triggers the spill, and you get the lift back up where you start to trigger a series of bearish divergences. As you get this sideways action, and then it floats on a while. Look, there's a smaller version of this. It's this here. You get a lift here, and then you get a spill down, and then look, you get this really sharp spike up, you know, on the RSI, and again there's that bigger spill down, yeah. So this was the last big spike up. We've got our spill down, we've got our lift back up, we're getting our bearish divergences. On the 1 day, again, we're getting our bearish divergences and we're spilling down, and we're in this sideways action here. And this is what I'm saying. It looks like we could be floating along for a bunch of days before it decides what direction it wants to do. So again, I'm just repeating myself. I said I wouldn't, but I am. Until this changes, it's still in this similar pattern. Yeah. Here's a bigger version of it. Yeah. Here's another version of it. You see this floating along sideways. There's another version of it back there. So it is tedious, price action wise. It is tedious for trading. There's just a couple of decent swings in it, but it looks like, if I read this right, we could be in for a bit of sideways. And again, you can see there was a nice drop here. There was a nice lift up, and again the 50 is breaking through the 200 again. So I'm just trying to wonder where would, because it's always same but different. Is I'm just wondering where are we on this this pattern, because they are same but different, you know. Is this lift has taken quite a while. This initial drop here is was it this one? Is it this one? You know, a lot of it's hard to read because it's always a bit the same but different. Is my thought is are we here and we're just going to get this floating sideways with a couple of dips before it makes its decision, or have we already gone through all this and we've had this dip here, this final dip here, and we're coming up for this lift, and then potentially then we might have a turn and just start to move down. Yeah, I don't know. The reason partly why I'm thinking that is, again, is back to the daily. Is when I go back to the daily on this. The daily RSI is in a proper spill mode. So again is you can see it here. It sets up a big spill. We're here, like a miniature version of it. Yeah. Equally is here. Again, a bigger volume version of it. Again, is that when we have this spill down, there's a lift and then takes itself down on a bigger spill. So you can see what I'm looking at. So anyway, and again the same thing about the pattern interrupt is on the daily. Here's the 200. Here's the 200 EMA, and same question is are we going to get a break above? Or is price actually going to start finding its way, bouncing between the 200 and the 50 for a bit, finding its way below the 50? And again, if I think we see it back on the daily, remember the 50 is finding its way below the 50 and starting to head on down. Then I think we have our answer. Yeah. So that's it. Let's see where it wants to go. Trade wise, it's I'm still in that trade at where's this trade? 40. Here we go. 42.70, and we'll see where it wants to go. I know I'm sitting in it and it's dragging out, and there was potential take profit opportunity there, but we'll see about this bigger swing and how it plays out. Yeah. So that's it for now. Watch out for two basic levels. Is how does it behave around 41.82, the 200 EMA on the daily, and then equally is we're looking at the 50. I do believe it's the 50. I would treat this. I'd be more mindful of the 50 MA. The 50 MA down here, rather than, let me see where the EMA is on this chart. Okay, yeah, there you go. Look, the 50 EMA sort of hiding in here, this dark green one here. Yeah, the 50 EMA is at the point of control here. Okay, there we go. So I think ranges to watch out for is, again, how it behaves around the 41.82, 42. Are we going to break up and continue on up? Or we start to get tests, 30, 38, 81, and then equally heading down. And I think this really is the 37.50 or so is to me is more of a decider for if it starts to break 37.50 with a bit of conviction, showing a clear reversal here, is then it's looking good for the down. Yeah. Even if this breaks up above, I still think it won't have much more to go before it starts to come down for another move. Yeah. Again, I could be wrong on that. We could be in the spring, the spring of things, but I'm not seeing it. But that next level, if it was to head up to, I would probably take it up to the what's this now up here? The SMA, yeah, is potentially the 200 SMA range around the 49 mark, around that 49 range. Yeah. But let's see how it plays out. But for now, that's me.